Hello everyone, the Flying Canary here with your O'Grady forecast for the Premier League, the show where hope springs eternal but VAR's battery dies by half-time. This week's episode is proudly powered by Pitchside Wi-Fi, still buffering since 2012, perfect for uploading your outage before the replay even finishes. We're heading into the final stretch before the international break, fitness fading, tempers rising and fans wondering why their keeper's suddenly allergic to crosses. Let's guide through another weekend of wonder, worry, and whimsical refereeing. Saturday lunchtime, Spurs versus Man United. The Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, futuristic, shiny, and permanently one defeat away from existential crisis. Spurs dream of trophies, United dream of stability, and VAR dreams of being understood. Expect intensity, misplaced passes, and at least one slow-motion replay that lasts longer than the queue for the toilets. Prediction 2-2, complete with stoppage time equaliser that breaks one fan base's spirit and the other's voice. Historic echo, remember the 5-3 classic in 2001? Same chaos, better camera angles. Flying Canary Tip, take the tube. The parking situation requires divine intervention. 3 p.m. kickoffs then. Everton versus Fulham. Home of sighs, songs and stubbornness. Fulham arrive from the capital carrying quiet optimism and overpriced sandwiches. Everton need points, Fulham need purpose, both need counselling. Predictions 1-0 Everton, scored via a knee, confusion and sheer defiance. Historic note, the Toffees once went 20 years without losing to Fulham at home, proof that routine beats reason. Sponsor shout out, Blue Collar Brew, the only coffee guaranteed to taste like grit and hope. On to West Ham United versus Burnley. The London Stadium, still technically in London, spiritually in the Olympic past. West Ham love the big stage. Burnley love reminding everyone that football is a contact sport. This will be elbows, headers and long balls that threaten nearby pigeons. Predictions 2-1 West Ham, with both goals coming from chaos disguised as set pieces. Historic echo, the clubs first met in 1923. Even then someone shouted, "Ref, you're blind." Tradition's important. Sunderland versus Arsenal, tea time, north versus south. The stadium of life where weather reports read windy with a chance of miracles. Sunderland roar, Arsenal glide. One side runs on adrenaline, the other on geometry. It's red versus red, noise versus nuance. Prediction 3-1 Arsenal, though Sunderland will make them earn every touch. The Flying Canary Travel Tip for away fans, gloves, patience, and the post-match pint that defrosts your optimism. Historic echo, Arsenal's unbeaten Invisibles drew here in 2004. The ghost of that day still haunts the tunnel. And then Saturday night, we've Chelsea versus Wolverhampton. Under lights at the Bridge, where drama is included in the ticket price. Chelsea's form fluctuates like Wi-Fi signal. Wolves just keep running until something breaks, usually a crossbar. Predictions 2-1 Chelsea, decided by a deflection and defended by philosophy. Quick facts, Wolves once beat Chelsea 2-0 or 2-1 in 1960 to go top of Division 1. 65 years later, history might wink. Sponsor London Luxury Lanyards for those who want to wear ambition around their necks. And then we've a Sunday quadruple, 4 at 2 o'clock. Aston Villa versus Bournemouth. Villa Park, proud, noisy, and about to witness a clash of styles. Villa's slick possession versus Bournemouth's optimistic countering. Prediction 2-0 Villa, powered by home comfort and sheer volume. And a Flying Canary tip, the station's always packed. Sing while you wait, it counts as cardio. And historic echo, Villa's first ever Premier League win in 1992 came against Bournemouth in the Cup the same week. It loves a remix. And then Brentford versus Newcastle. At the G-Tech, the bees buzzing, the magpies marching, data sheets desire. Both sides love directness, both hate losing, both will blame the ref. Prediction 2-2, the kind of match that looked great in highlights and terrible on analytics. Historic note, Newcastle haven't won here since the bees were still part-time. That's your pop quiz answer. Crystal Palace versus Brighton, the M23 derby. Selhurst Park, where the volume knob is broken at max. Palace's wingers flying, Brighton's midfield gliding, football's most scenic rivalry meets, London's most passionate postcode. Prediction 1-1 with more tackles than tweets. and a handshake colder than Croydon in November. Historic echo in 1976, a coin toss decided who hosted the replay between these two. VAR's ancestor, simpler and cheaper. Nottingham Forest versus Leeds, the City Ground, a throwback venue with modern headaches. Forest faithful will drown out the commentary. Leeds fans will match them decibel for decibel. Expect running, chaos and a yellow card that makes zero sense. Prediction 2-1 Forest, courtesy of a corner and collective willpower. And a Flying Canary fact, Forest's main stand roof was designed to amplify noise, scientifically proven to terrify keepers. And Super Sunday finale, Man City versus Liverpool. The heavyweight symphony of modern football, Pep-style precision versus Mersey mayhem. City pass until opponents disappear, Liverpool impress, press until physics give up. Every touch could be poetry, every foul could be philosophy. Prediction 3-2 City, though nobody will agree on who deserved it. Historic echo, this fixture has produced 17 goals in the last 4 meetings. Buckle up, bring snacks and keep the defibrillator charged. Sponsor shout out, Turbo VAR 3000, promising faster reviews and delivering longer pauses since 2020. And the forecast, that's the weather bit. Manchester, torrential drama with scattered brilliance. London, mild smugness, heavy congestion. Midlands, gusts of nostalgia. Northeast, cold fronts and warm hearts. Overall temperatures of belief, slightly above average. Confidence pressure, low in Burnley, dangerously high in North London. And weekend whispers, rumour has it, one Premier League clubs hired a celebration coach, a specialist teaching players how to hug efficiently. Elsewhere, a keeper reported fined for checking fantasy points mid-match. Technology giveth, technology improveth. And in VAR news, the systems received a firmware update called Still Not Clear and Obvious. Progress. And, of course, our referee appreciation moment. Spare a thought for the men and women in black, sprinting 11 kilometres when being insulted in stereo. They don't seek applause, only peace, and maybe the chance to enjoy a pint without someone showing them a replay. To the refs, we see you, mostly when you're surrounded. And as for Mascot madness, this week's winner, Gunnersaurus, who celebrated Arsenal's last win with a yoga pose mid-pitch. Runner-up, Wolfie the Wolf, booked for excessive howling during substitutions. If passion were a stat, Mascots would top the league every week. Historic and football facts. On the 8th of November 1986, Alex Ferguson took charge of Manchester United for the first time. No pressure. On the 9th of November 2002, James Beattie scored in 6 consecutive games for Southampton, proving persistence beats PR. And on the 8th of November 1887, the world's oldest recorded floodlit football match in Sheffield. Half the bulb blew after 10 minutes, but tradition was born. And here's your Flying Canary travel tips. London, bring an Oyster card, a prayer and patience. Manchester, pack waterproofs and humility. Birmingham, never trust the train schedule. Liverpool, arrive early, leave with tinnitus. Newcastle, uphill both ways, emotionally and physically. Always carry a charger, a sense of humour, and a spare chant, and some weekend wisdom. Football's a mirror. It shows you who you are when the ball doesn't bounce your way. Hope fuels the travel humour, heals the heartbreak, and memories make the miles worth it. Remember, the table lies, the stats deceived, but the songs never do. If your club wants its own upgraded outlook, a 4-minute, custom-made, fan guide packed with jokes, weather and trivia, get in touch. You bring the badge, I'll bring the banter and the barometer. And now, my final word, this forecast, powered by Last Minute Trains Limited, because every away day deserves its own survival story. 10 matches, countless opinions, and one league that still refuses to make sense. And that's why we love it. Stay loud, travel safe, tip your mascot, and remember, belief may not be measurable, but it's always top of the table. Flying Canary out.